Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at a turn-based combat tutorial. This is as basic as it gets. We're going to have a health bar that goes down. We're going to have a heal button that brings your health back up. We have a restart button which restarts the entire thing, and an escape button which closes this down. And I'm going to show you guys how to do all of this in as short a time as possible, but it's a very malleable system. You should be able to change it to your needs as much as you have to. Alright, let's get started with this. We're going to make a bunch of objects first, all the different objects that we're going to need for this game. So we have O battle, O button, O enemy, and O player. That's what we're going to need for this tutorial. The way this is going to look is we're basically just going to have an enemy here, a player here, and a bunch of buttons here that do different things. So real quick, I'm just going to assign some sprites to these so we can put them in the room, because I don't want to forget that later, and I certainly will. So let's put these on. Okay, and we'll add in all of our stuff here. Okay, so all the objects are in our room, and also our button. Our battle. Let's make sure we put that in. So let's start with the battle. This is going to be the controller of everything that happens inside of our game. Let's give this an enumerator, and we'll call it state. And what this is going to do is it's going to transfer between all the different states of the battle system. That way we are taking turns. So let's start with battle start, and we're going to end with battle end. And then in between that, let's just create some other ones. Say player choose, just player choose, player deal damage, enemy attack, and enemy end. Okay, we've got all of our things there, and then let's just create a state, and let's make this states. Let's create a state here, which equals states.battle_start, so that right when it starts off, we're going to be in the right state. Then let's go into our step event. Let's do a switch statement, call that state, and this is going to be states.battle_start. What I did was I hit F4, and that brought up all the code snippets, and then I can actually hit the switch thing, and that will bring up a template to use. And the reason I do that is because, one, it saves a lot of time, but also it keeps me from making errors, which I do frequently with typos and things like that would kill my game. That just prevents all of that. So let's do player choose. Let's fill these all in. Okay, so we have all of our states for our battle going in, but of course it doesn't transfer between any of the states. All it's doing right now is it's starting at battle start, and it's going to not go into anything else. So what I want to do is right when we start, we're in battle start, we're going to do most of this with alarms. That's going to go into the different states. So let's give it a 60-second timer, and let's just do something here so that we know where we are in our state machine. So if state equals states.battle_start, let's go draw text. Let's do set up some variables here. Var GUI width equals display get GUI width, and duplicate that. I'm using Control D to duplicate. And now let's just do GUI width divided by 2, GUI height divided by 2, and let's just say our text is battle start. And let's give it some color and stuff. I'll just add all this stuff in real quick. Okay, so I put in the colors, alignment, font, all of that. So now if we're in this battle start state, then we're going to show that text on the screen. The other thing that I want to do is make a transparent black background so that we can see our text a little bit better. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so I made some changes. I made the color black because we want a black background. I made the alpha 0.8 so we could see through it, and then I had to reset it to 1. So let's just take a look real quick. Let's make an alarm first. So alarm 0 is 60. Let's make sure we create that. And then when it hits, we're going to do state equals states dot player choose. So when we start this up, it should show the battle start thing and then go away after a second. Let's see. There we go. It went away. And I need to do this in my event here, or else it's going to do it all the time. So next, what do we want to do? If we're in the player choose, we want to be able to choose a different button. So let's go into our O button. What we're going to do is go into our variable definitions. So let's take a look at that. But I guess first we'll create our enum enumerator. We'll call this buttons. And let's just say all the different kinds of buttons we want. So let's just do attack, heal, escape, and restart. And then in here, let's go to list. Let's click this options settings button. This will let us add to our list. And let's do buttons dot attack and fill in everything that we have for this. Okay, so this list is just going to mirror what we have over here, and we're going to call this variable button. It's pretty similar to what we're doing with the state, just using buttons because it's more consistent with what we're pressing. And then we want to go to mouse left press. Make sure you do left press and not left down, or you're going to cause problems when you're dealing damage. Left press, this is going to be another state. So press F4, that brings up our switch statement. Let's do button. And we're just going to do all of our same enumerator stuff. So buttons attack, I highlight this, I press Control D a few times to bring that up, and we can just put all this in here. And one thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create event, and I'm going to do draw, because what's going to happen is, first I'm going to draw self, is on top of our buttons, we want to draw out what each button is going to do. So let's just do text equals, and then just say what the button is. And then let's draw our text, which I'm just going to copy from here because we already did all this stuff for the text. It's useful to put this into a script if you want to do that. That way you don't have to constantly redo all this, but since I'm starting with a new project, I didn't want to take the time to do a whole script, so that's why I didn't do it. All right, let's draw our text, and we'll just do X, Y, text. And over here, let's just do text equals and 2 quotation marks. That'll just tell it that we have a string in that value. So this will give our buttons different attributes. It's not actually going to do anything yet. Let's assign each of these buttons what we want it to be. So it's going to be our attack. Over here we want our heal. And this is why we use the variable list, because we can just really easy just pick what we want this to be, and it saves us a lot of time, especially if we have a bunch of different buttons. So very useful thing to know. All right, so we've got all that working. Let's just test it real quick, make sure everything's running okay. What should happen is we should see all of the text on the buttons, and it should, yep, it's going great. That's a little bit bright, so I'm just gonna change it to dark. Let's see, black. I made my button, I just changed it to see black so we can see it better later. And then what we wanna do is in our attack, let's go to left press. In our attack, we want to subtract the player's health. So real quick, let's just create some variables. Let's go max HP so we just created some variables here that tells it that we have a max HP, and then the HP is what we're actually going to be changing as he loses health. So let's go draw And I'm gonna get some variables here. This is gonna be my SW and SH. I'm actually gonna divide both of these by 2. You'll see why in a second. So let's draw a health bar. This is a built-in function in GameMaker. I have a whole tutorial series about making health bars, so you can make something much prettier than this, but I'm just gonna do the most basic things. So I just middle clicked the button and that brought up the manual. Manual is incredibly helpful. It just gives you everything you need to put a health bar in. So what we're doing here is we're drawing the top left coordinate of the health bar and the bottom right coordinate of the health bar. So if we go into here and you look at this, we want our health bar to basically be drawn from the left side of the monster to the right side of the monster, right on this bounding box right here. And we want it to go from here to here, and we want it to be maybe 10 pixels long. So that's what we're going to do. So let's do x minus sprite width. For our other x, we'll just do x plus sprite width. And remember, this is divided by 2, so it's taking the middle of the sprite width and it's going left half of it and then right half of it. So that's going to give me the entire length of this. And then for our y, let's just go bbox bottom, make it real simple, and then bbox bottom plus 10 pixels tall. That should be just fine. So that should be my health bar, and I'm just gonna duplicate that for the player. And change the sprite. So that should all work. One last thing I want to give to him is an attack. So let's just say my attack equals, let's say he's got 20 attack. And he will have, let's give him like 100 HP just so that everything shows. My attack equals 5. So we can see they have very different health bars and how everything is distributed. And then what we want to do, let's go into our button. We're in our O button right now. O button. We're going to go into our left pressed, and in our buttons.attack, when we're pressing down the button, we want it to subtract the HP automatically. So let's do O enemy dot HP minus equals O player dot my attack. And we want it to change to the next state after that. So let's go to with O battle alarm 1 equals, let's give it 60 seconds. And let's change the state also. States dot is a player deal damage. Yep. Okay, so then what's going to happen is we're in our battle. Let's make sure we set our alarm. We want to have a short window of time between when one state happens and the next one happens. So we press the button, damage is instantly done to the enemy, and we're going to see that happen. And then about 60 seconds is going to go by, and then it's going to be the enemy's turn. So after that 60 seconds goes by, we want to change to states.enemy attack. And then let's just copy this and just change a couple things about it. Which is going to be minus O enemy dot my attack. And set one more alarm. And let's just bring it back to the player's turn. So once alarm 2 hits, let's go state equals states dot player choose. So let's look at what's happening real quick, just a quick overview. So we get into the game, we're immediately in state.battle start. An alarm goes off for 60 seconds. When we're in the battle start state, all we're seeing is what's in here because that's what we have for draw GUI. And once that alarm goes off, it's immediately switching us into state.playerChoose. Now nothing happens in this until we actually press our buttons. That's going to switch us to our next state, which we actually want to make this so that it only operates if we're in the right state. So if O battle, I'm in the O button right now. If O battle.state doesn't equal, or no, if it equals, no, let's just do if it doesn't equal states.playerChoose, then we're going to exit. That way nothing here is going to work unless we're actually on the right state. And something else real quick we're going to do. If state, let's do if O battle dot state doesn't equal states dot player choose image alpha equals 0.2, else image alpha equals 1. And I'll just set that in the create event also. No, it doesn't matter. It's already in the step event. And I'm going to make it so that our text that's being drawn on the thing, right now it's going to show up at full transparency. So let's just change that so it's the same as the rest of the image. So we'll just change that to image alpha, and then we have to reset it after so that we're not drawing everything else at the same image alpha. And I think that should just about do it. Let's take a look and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, we're starting, and of course our players are missing. That is because we did not draw them properly. So, but when we attack, okay, I don't have a player in here because I deleted it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and while we're doing this, let's go into both of these guys, draw, make sure we draw their own selves. Draw self here. And let's take a look. So attack goes down, then he goes down, and then we're back. Of course, he's still not showing up, so let's take a look at what's going on there. I think it's because I drew that in the create event, which is really dumb of me. But yeah, everything seems to be working just fine. Let's just take one last look, make sure it is. Okay, everything looks to be working, and of course I didn't give any of these any kind of button yet, but I will in a second. An attack, we hit that, and it goes down. Then it's the enemy's turn, we go down, attack, attack, very good. We're going down. Okay, that's working just fine. And let's just give everything else. If you want to see how to put in some additional stuff, let's say if we do heal, let's just copy what we've got on our attack because it's pretty much the same. Except let's just do O player.hp plus equals, and I think we need to give it a pretty high heal. Let's just say he has like 30 heal. That'll work. And the state, this doesn't really matter because nothing's actually happening in the state. We're just doing that as kind of like a placeholder so that nothing happens there. And so now that heal button works, and so in our escape, let's just do game end, and then restart. Let's do room restart. So let's take a look, see if our battle system is working. Okay, we got everything up right now. If I hit restart, it restarts everything. If I hit, I'm not gonna hit escape yet. I'll do that at the very end. If I hit attack, we attack everything. Everything goes down in transparency while they're doing their battles. So let's attack again. And let's see if we can heal him. Yes, we can. We brought his health back up. Let's attack. Very good. Everything is working just fine. Let's hit escape. All right, one last thing I want to do is I want to add in a win condition for the game. So when the battle ends, enemy has all of their HP all the way down. What we're going to do is set this up. So where we deal the damage, which is right here, player, in our button, when we press the button, this is where we're dealing the damage. So with a battle, we want it to keep from triggering the alarm if we are there. So if O enemy.hp less than or equal to 0, state equals states dot battle end. And I can do that because right now we're with the O battle. So we're in the O battle event right now. Else we're going to trigger this alarm. And if we're in the battle end, we want to do something special. So we're in the O battle right now. Let's go to draw GUI, and I'm highlighting, pressing Control D. That duplicates it. And this is going to be battle end. And let's make it say battle. Now let's make it say you win. Okay, so we have a battle start. Let's attack. We have normal damage being done. This guy does a lot more damage than I do, but I can heal. Now I'm off to a better path. And when he dies, it should go black and say, you win. Yes, okay, and no other alarms are being triggered. We now have a functional win game. The only thing you would add maybe is an alarm where you would say alarm 3 equals game end. That was not that hard to type out. I should have just typed it out. So then we'll trigger that alarm. Alarm 3 equals, I'm gonna give that one 90 just so we have a little bit more time to sit in our glory. And then a lose condition, you would basically just do this exact same thing. If where we're dealing the damage to the player right here, let's just do the exact same thing. If oPlayer.hp is less than or equal to 0, state equals state.battleEnd, and alarm 3 equals 90, else alarm 1 equals 60. That's we're gonna say alarm 2 equals 60. Okay, and battle end, let's just go to our draw GUI and say bar text if text, oh sorry, if oPlayer.hp is less than or equal to 0, text equals you lose, else you win. And just put in text right there. Okay, that should do it. Let's take a look. Everything should be done. Okay, battle is up. Let's just do some normal attacks. Just bring our player down, see if we can get a lose condition. Whichever one happens. You lose, and then the game ends. Okay. Some real quick things we're going to add. Go to your O button, go to mouse, mouse enter, create a mouse enter event, mouse, mouse leave, create a mouse leave event. Let's just say image blend equals C gray. I'm in America, so it's A for gray, but it might be E for you depending on where you are in the world. And then I'm going to make this white on the leave. That will make everything look nice. And then the last thing I'm going to do is make it so we have our health bars that are just to make them look a little bit nicer. So let's do disp HP equals lerp. Then we'll do the same thing in our players. So that's in the create event. Sorry, no, that's in the step event. In our create, we're just going to do equals HP. And then in our draw here, let's just do display HP. Okay, now everything turns gray as we hover over it, and we've got our attack, and that will bring that down. We're bringing down our attack or our health. Everything's working great. So that is it for the system. You'll notice if you press heal, it goes up as well, just like that. And that's pretty much it. If there's anything else that you need, let me know in the comments. But that should just about do it for this tutorial. Thanks so much and good luck on your projects.